Hello, trainers! Professor Palm here, and welcome back to March Meltdown. Now, we're in the middle of the month, and things are really starting to heat up now, so let's turn it to full blast. And I know some Pokemon who can really turn up some good heat. With me today are Magby, Magmortar, and Magmortar. God, those guys were hot! Ooh, that flame body ability really hurts my hands. For any of you fire type lovers out there, this is a perfect line for you to have. However, this line is very interesting as it didn't start in one region like most others. It took 3 regions till this whole line came together. Very similar to Electabuzz, Electivire, and Elekid. You see, it started all in the Kanto region with the walking volcano himself, Magmar. And then, in the Johto region, we got the cute little baby coal Pokemon, Magby. And finally, the walking meltdown itself, Magmortar, debuted in the Sinnoh region. These Pokemon are very hot to handle as every one of them has over 1,000 degrees for a body temperature. Whew. Thank God my AC's working. Also, I need a drink of water dealing with these things. Shame I'm not talking about Jinx and Smoochum, because I definitely could be happier in the cold, and maybe with the Castelia cone. Whew. It's really getting hot in here. Really feels like an oven. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm just gonna jump right in and talk about it because it's over 1,000 degrees in here. So, why not start with cute little Magby? Ah! Okay, first let me cool my hands down and then I'll talk about it. Note to self, don't touch the living coal Pokemon.
Aw, hello there, little Magby. Aren't you a cutie pie? Similar to most babies, Magby are very timid, but at the same time, they're very excitable, and they love to shoot flames. As much as I'd love to hug this Pokemon, that would be a bad idea for anyone, because this Pokemon's body temperature can be raised up to 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, hugging this thing will give you probably the worst sunburn as well as worst pain you could possibly feel. Now, that's a baby that's adorable to look at rather than hug. When looking at Magby's back, you can definitely tell that it becomes a dinosaur-like Pokemon as it has a very tiny little spike on its back, which grows the more it evolves. Be careful when raising a Magby, not because you'll get burned, but these Pokemon hate water. In fact, if a Magby falls in a little puddle or even a small pond, that'll be enough to dry it out. However, this Pokemon can easily be revived in hot lava, as wild Magby live in groups, and they love to play in the hot magma as well as bathe in it. This makes them feel very happy, as Magby love being in hot places or hot lava. Anything that reminds them of home could put a big smile on that snout of theirs. Speaking about Magby's snout, it actually says a lot about its health. If Magby releases a fire with a very heavy yellow tint to it, that means it's doing very well and it's very healthy. That also tells that it's very happy with where it is at. But if it releases only black smoke or it releases heavy red fire with a very scarlet tint, that means this Pokemon isn't feeling well. Kind of ironic that a fire Pokemon can get a cold despite not being cold and having the ability Flame Body. But still, the best thing you could do to a Pokemon like this is take it to a volcano or take it to a very hot area similar to a hot springs. Giving this Pokemon steam or anything hot can very much help it and make it feel better, as Magby love anything that reminded of heat and home. Being that cute little baby that Magby is, it loves a little game of peekaboo. But as hot as this Pokemon's flames might be, they will get more intense as it evolves. And why don't we check it out with ourselves a Magmar. Magby also really like a game of peekaboo. Like I've said many times before, this Pokemon is very easily excitable, and having one around is fun to have as they're great partners. However, if you think this Pokemon is pretty hot, wait till you turn up the heat and this thing evolves into a Magmar. That's where the heat becomes way more intense. Let's be honest here, many of us really started with Magmar as this is probably one of the coolest looking fire Pokemon back in the original Kanto games. I mean, look at this Pokemon. It has an incredible design. And let's be fair here, we're going to start with the biggest joke. Ha ha, look at Magmar, he's got a butt on his head. Man, Biff Tannen from Back to the Future would have the perfect nickname for this Pokemon. But if you want to laugh at its head and poke at it, that would be a bad idea, because with its flame body ability, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to be burned. Looking at its body, as well as its ability flame body, it's no surprise that Magmar loved to be in hot places like volcanoes. It can raise its body temperature to double what Magby was at the temperature of 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that's crazy. This Pokemon really likes places like Mount Chimney in Hoenn, Mount Ember in Kanto, Reversal Mountain in Unova, and Wella Volcano Park in Alola. That's where they like to make their homes, in and around volcanoes. However, these Pokemon can make their homes all around Alola because it's nice, hot, and sunny all year long, as these Pokemon hate the cold. Ironically, they also hate water, so it's a little funny they'd like to live on an island. Wow, looking at Magmar's back, look at those sharp spikes. I don't even think you even need to touch those things, as coming as close as it is can really hurt you. And look at that tail. It's on fire now. That's incredible. Similar to Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. Also, this Pokemon is so hot, some people call it like the X-Men Sunspot. As cool as these Pokemon look, you should be very careful because Magmar are very violent Pokemon. And not only do they have anger management problems, but if you get on this thing's bad side, it will fight you or any Pokemon until it's been reduced to cinders and ashes. Also, this Pokemon can be very careless, as when hunting prey, it often doesn't realize until too late that it's burnt it to a crisp. And unfortunately, this Pokemon is extremely careless, as wherever it goes, it burns things down. So do be careful if you travel into the woods or a area with a lot of trees. This Pokemon can start forest fires without even doing a thing, not just because of its flame body, but because of its careless attitude and behavior. Similar to Magby, Magmar love to live in hot lava as well as bathe in it. They often like to bathe in it when they're very stressed or when they're feeling fatigue, as it calms them down and makes them feel much better. Also, it's better to stay away from Magmar when it's not feeling so well, as when this Pokemon sneezes, extreme lava as well as fireballs will shoot out of its snout. So please feel free to get away from this Pokemon if it doesn't look good, because you might be burned up in its path. When this Pokemon likes to charge up for its extreme attacks, it crosses its arms and heats the area up to extreme. It feels like a heat wave going on. Also, it becomes very hard to see with all the fire that surrounds it before it releases its powerful attacks. The reason it does this is it likes to be in a safe environment, knowing that nothing can touch it and nothing can hurt it. This Pokemon's snout says a lot about its health, just like how Magby's does. Magmar's, on the other hand, says a lot. If it spews lava, this means it's sick, as it needs solid fire to protect itself. But when the fire is nice and hot and there's no smoke coming out of it, you know this Pokemon is doing well. How about we take this heat to the extreme? let's give this Pokemon a Magmarizer, trade it, and let's get into a walking meltdown in the form of Magmortar. Now, we're turning the heat levels up to insane with Magmortar. Just look at this Pokemon. Not just does it look terrifying with its ability Flame Body, but this Pokemon looks like a walking meltdown come to life. That is a true nightmare. I have to say, one thing I've always loved about this Pokemon is its big lips, its evil little eyes, and that silly smile on its face. It just looks like it's plotted something evil and it's up to no good, and I just love it for that. Unlike Magby and Magmar, Magmortar lacks hands. However, it does have 3 little claws at the end of all of its blasters, but these blasters are its true weapon. Unlike the others who have snouts, these blasters fire fireballs at the temperature of 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. I'd say be careful when you cross paths with this thing and try to keep this thing happy, as this Pokemon gets angry very easily, and if you get blasted by those fireballs, don't expect a funeral, because your ashes will be scattered in seconds into the wind. When looking at the back of Magmortar, you can definitely see that similar to its previous evolutions, it has spikes on its back. However, unlike Magby and Magmar that have red spikes, this thing has pink spikes. Don't even try to touch those things, as you'll never get the chance to, as that is where the hottest part of Magmortar is, other than its arm cannons. Speaking of fire, look at its tail. Now, that's a real tail on fire. As said before with Magby and Magmar, who love to live in the volcanoes, Magmortar loves the extreme heat, so it makes its home in volcanoes and volcanic craters. This Pokemon really loves to stand in the lava as well as take lava baths. Since we're on the subject of volcanoes, did you know that Magmortar has a special chamber in its stomach? That's where it holds its fire as well as its magma, which is very similar to the magma chamber in a volcano. Most of the time, if you see in a volcano, a male and a female make a home there and raise their young to make them very happy. These Pokemon don't sweat. Instead, lava comes out of their sweat glands, and also, they breathe fire. While this Pokemon seems quite fearful, it's actually very handy when working in factories. In fact, a lot of factory workers rely on this thing, as this Pokemon's extreme heat makes it very helpful for making metal in factories, especially in steel mills. Imagine going to a steel mill and working with this Pokemon. It could get a lot done for you and even protect you from explosions or a meltdown, as these Pokemon not only are strong but are very entertained by explosions. Then again, they do live in volcanoes and watch the magma blow up. So, these Pokemon, I guess you could say, are the Michael Bay Pokemon that are impressed by explosions and like to give them off as well. While Magmortar like to live in volcanoes, and they're very helpful in factories, it's surprisingly a very social Pokemon, and it really does like to help people. In fact, in the olden days of Hisui, this Pokemon was known as the Walking Furnace, as during harsh winters, this Pokemon was very helpful for heating up food as well as cooking it, as well as making fires. In fact, people who were trapped in the blizzard would often call on Magmortar to come save them, as with an extreme heated body, this Pokemon not only could help guide them home, but keep them warm, protecting them from the harsh winters. When it comes to a soft-spotted Pokemon with extreme heat, always turn to Magmortar, because this is a Pokemon you'll always want in your corner, not just because of its firepower, but because of its sheer strength. With the heat that these Pokemon generate, that's enough to equal a star. Wow, imagine having a whole planet full of them on their own. That could create another sun. Well, I guess on the bright side, if the sun ever goes out, we just put these guys on another planet and we'll have another sun to save us for years. What really intrigues me about this line is that they were not introduced in one game, but 3 different games. While we started with Magmar in the Kanto games, it was a good Pokemon, but it could have gotten better. So then, Gen 2 decides, with all the baby Pokemon, Magmar deserves a baby form. And just look at that cute little thing. How could you not want this thing? While Gen 4 gave us mixed evolutions, I do think that Magmortar was a diamond in the rough. Sure, it's not the coolest looking Pokemon, but it's so powerful and it's so cool, in my opinion, that I really could not go my first game of Platinum without it. It was a Pokemon that really saved me in a lot of tight spots. I hope that you'll go for it too, because this is a Pokemon you can really trust to heat things up. One thing that you should know about these Pokemon is, as good of partners they make, they definitely are a hot bunch to handle. Always make sure you have a bottle of fresh water, soda pop, or lemonade on hand, as well as maybe a swimsuit and some sunglasses, because being around these Pokemon is like being in a sauna. I guess you could say they're the sauna trio.
Are you a fan of Magby, Magmar, and Magmortar, the Flame Body family? Or do you go on the other electrical side with Elekid, Electabuzz, and Electivire? I'd love to know. Whew. I gotta tell ya, it is really hot in here. I think I'm just gonna end this and I'm gonna go grab myself a bottle of lemonade and a Castelia cone. So, if you liked what you saw, please leave a like. If you have an idea for another fire-type family you want me to cover this month, or a new video in general, or you still want to answer any of my questions, please comment. And if you want to see more and what's in store next, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Palm out.